but Alice again a big strong man and maybe there to win more possession in the half forward line.
Yeah, he's a different kind of player completely. Very much a half forward, whereas Mulcahy was a finisher. So a change of direction maybe, but then we've got the two big men, Shane Dowling and Declan Hannon, former wonderful, prodigious underage talents, coming good here in the heat of battle in the Munster Championship. Limerick trying to win back this Munster title for the first time in 17 years. And that's where that challenge came in there. That was by Conor Alice, first intervention. This is going to be Conor O'Sullivan who will hit this next one. From the Sarsfields club in Riverstown, Glanmire. Didn't make the greatest of contact with that, but it still comes good for Tom Kenny. Kenny looking for a fourth winner's medal this year. Cut out by Tom Condon, looking for a first. Trying to get away there from Luke O'Farrell, and O'Farrell puts in the stick and makes a very good contact and makes it very awkward for the cornerback there from Knockaderry. 9-ball to Cork, went off Condon. This one's got to be taken by Tom Kenny. Cork needing a score. They've gone 4 behind. They were level 10 points apiece at half-time. And that ball has been cut out this time by Richie McCarthy. Superb during the opening 35 minutes. This time Wayne McNamara. And McNamara up here as far as Conor Alice. UCD student Alice goes after this. Back at his own 65-metre line. Trying to spoon it outside here to the waiting Paul Brown. Did well to get away from Daniel Carney. Over across as far as James Ryan, a more expansive game now being played by Limerick, and it all ends up with a magnificent shot by Ryan that's fired over the bar. The former footballer, now very much the prominent number 11 hurler, has got a third point in this Munster final, and Limerick hurling fans are loving every second of it. They lead by 5.
Yeah, Ger, that's an incredible score. He must have been 90 yards out, you know, on the angle. Probably the wrong option, but went wide. But it's one of those days. The wind is picking up out there. You can feel it up here even. Nice breeze, and Limerick have it behind them now. And Cork really need a goal, I'd say, at this stage to get them back into the game.
They've got Seamus Harnedy attacking, looking for a score. He'll settle for a point. He gets one, and that's a third one for Seamus Harnedy. And that's Cork's first point from play in the second half. The other 2 points, of course, had come from Jamie Cole and Freeze. So now it's 17 points to 13. More changes been made, and we're about to see another big man come in, and this is number 26 for Cork, Michael Cusson. 6'6", 6'7", take your pick. He's a giant of a man anyway. Comes in place of Luke O'Farrell. And I wonder whether this will mean a change of direction now, because with that kind of height and that kind of physique, you imagine the direct ball in. It's just wondering whether or not the number 5 can continue. And it looks like we're going to see Cathal King coming in. He played in the semi-final. Not in just yet.
Yeah, you'd imagine Seamus Hickey be an option back there as well. Loads of experience playing at wing-back and corner-back.
As this ball is put deep into the Cork half once again. Once more it's James Ryan getting a lot of opportunities. Firing this one to the left, however, in front of an attendance of 42,730, which means it's the biggest Munster final attendance since, well, about 4 years ago, also here in Limerick when it was tipped against Clare. Cork come back, they need scores. They're 4 behind. Carney inside, on as far as Lorcan McLaughlin, has to go this way and that before swinging his stick and putting it wide, and a missed opportunity. It was never going to be easy. Seamus Harnedy went to him immediately and said, hard luck, keep it going. And Cork will continue to play with spirit and determination, you can be certain of that. But Limerick hold all the aces at this stage, with 21 minutes gone in the second half. There's the scoring opportunities created.
Well, Cork's there 13 out of 29, you know, that's really miserable, and you know, they've had a lot of wides, maybe around 14 wides at this stage in the game, and you know, they're well on top. You know, if they'd taken even half of those chances to be well in this game.
Right now they're battling to get it out of their own defence. It's Conor O'Sullivan. High up into the air, 1-2 work for here for Park Cronin, knocking it down, intended for Lorcan McLaughlin, but it's 3 against 2. The numerical advantage of Limerick is certainly paying off. You remember it was 10 points apiece at half-time. Cork had the better of things by and large during the first half, but hit a lot of wides. Think about 10 wides during that first half. But then the sending off of Patrick Horgan looks like it has been one of the significant moves of the game. One of the significant moves right now has been made by Cathal Nocton, and he hits it high and he puts it over the bar, and he's got a first point. And now it's 17 points down once again to within manageable distance. It's 17-14, three between them.
Great score there by Cathal Naughton. Lovely dummy hand pass there, went around his man off to hurl over the bar. And, you know, Cork really, credit to Cork there, the last couple of scores there, keep them back in the game. Seamus Harnedy scored his third point from play.
There's Cathal King going on. Player coming off is the wing back Paddy O'Brien, who was injured a few minutes ago, and I think John Allen has decided it's time to freshen things up. On a steaming hot day like this, sensible tactics.
And I think Donald O'Grady gone back wing back there now, and Cathal King coming into the middle of the field.
Nicky Quaid's puck out. Big, huge one over there, intended for Hannon. Comes back here instead to Cork and to Tom Kenny in particular. Back down along the line towards Seamus Harnedy. Couldn't keep the ball in play. Line ball to Limerick. More bearable. This line ball's got to be hit in by Gavin O'Mahony, 26-year-old from Kilmallock. Tony Considine, his club coach, county champions. Up it goes, up there, dropped down there by Dowling this time. Recovered well, and Cork's Christopher Joyce hits it. This time beyond Cathal Naughton. Runs on towards Pat Cronin. Dermot Donald O'Grady lost his stick. Cronin had his, and availed of the opening to put it over, and a third point for Cronin, another for Cork. The fight back continues, and the 14 men are now within 2 points of Limerick.
Yeah, and Jerry, you'd have to say that great score by Pat Cronin from the middle of the field, but Donald O'Grady looked to be out on his feet there. Cork players seem to be, you know, again, re-energised. They're picking up a lot of the breaking ball again, and they're doing very, very well. And as I said earlier, if they're taking some of their chances, you know, they'll be leading in this game now. So you'd have to credit 14 men since half-time, and they're putting in a huge effort here in the second half.
Stephen White's on in the middle of the field in place of number 8, Lorcan McLaughlin. Cork come back again, and it's Stephen White with his first taste of the ball and first touch, all the way down as far as Richie McCarthy, trying to get Cussin into it. Cussin fouled, free out. That's the one thing that Cork do not want to do, give away frees to Limerick, which will put the pressure right back on their defence again. But his arm and stick came around McCarthy there, who's having another storming match for Limerick. What a performer at number 3. This free to be taken by Gavin O'Mahony, a great striker of the ball. Remember the 8 points he got against Dublin in the All-Ireland quarter-final a few years ago? This time the free taken from a deep position, aimed towards Ryan. MacDonald comes out for it. Ryan goes after it. Hickey gets there first, shortens the grip on the stick and fires it over the bar. That's a very valuable score by Seamus Hickey. It's only his 7th ever championship point. First today, 10 minutes to go, 3 between them again in a thrilling Munster final in Limerick.
Yeah, Jaron, that's very, very important score. You know, Cork got the last couple of scores, and Limerick really needed a score. And there's a puck out gone straight out over the line.
There was a fumble by William Egan. It was aimed at him by Anthony Nash. The left half didn't take it, lapse in concentration. So now Limerick can take possession, take their time as well. To be taken by Declan Hannon. Yeah,
Jaron, well Kepler putting this over the bar, very good at these.
Oh, he's got it beautifully. Will it curl? Will it curl? He has. How about that? An 8th point. This one from a sideline. Brilliant strike. Just watch the left hand upright here. The ball's in the air, and oh yes, just inside. No need for Hawkeye. It's 1915.
Any golfer in the world will be proud of that. Beautiful.
Right on the green.
Right.
Once again, it's picked up by Seamus Hickey. Hickey takes off. Collins after him. Can't get to him. Hickey's playing like a man inspired in this final. Back to Paul Brown, and Brown shoots it. And Limerick are finding that everything's almost going over the bar at this stage. That one stopped, however, and it comes to Conor O'Sullivan. The intervention of Nash was important there. Comes out here towards Tom Kenny. Needs to get it under control. 8 minutes to go in this final. Limerick leading by 4. They come again with Gavin O'Mahony. The left half back, tearing forward here. And it takes a fast one to beat Cathal Naughton. Naughton got back, got his stick in. But just a moment ago, Nash here was in some difficulty when that ball was hit in high. And this is what happened.
Yeah, it was Paul Brown. It looked like it was going over, but he brought it down. And Conor O'Sullivan in very quickly there to clear the danger. Here's Declan Hannon now from the other side of the field, nearly in the very same position.
8 points so far in the match.
I don't think he'll get this one.
If he doesn't, will you do my lottery numbers as well? Well, he's got the last one from the other wing, and this one he puts to the left. You're right. Stays at 19 points to 15. 7.5 minutes are left in the final, plus the usual 1 or 2 minutes to be added on. Intensive mood, JVM. Anthony Nash's puck out. Well, it was aimed towards Carney, but it comes back to William Egan. William Egan, who saw that ball trickle out over the sideline a few minutes ago, this time sends it in dangerously. Cusson was appealing for it, so too was Nicky Quaid. In the end, the umpire says harmlessly wide. Nobody able to make sufficient contact on it. Missed them all, apparently.
Yeah, dangerous ball, but I think you're going to see Cork resorting to route one now for the last few minutes. There's no point having Michael Cusson in there unless they do that, but there's 2 men in there marking him.
They have to try and get a goal chance. Once again, it is McDonnell pursuing the corner forward here, who is Shamey Tobin, and Shawnee Tobin unable to get it under sufficient control. Ends up being Cork possession and a chance for them to launch it down the field once again. They're going to bring their goalkeeper out to take this one. I'm sure there'll be lots on your mind after this particular match. Don't forget Damian O'Reilly's programme on RT Radio 1 tonight. Take your point just after 6. Anything you have to say about the game? A mention of game, there's Game On 2FM every night next week. Great programme of sport. Great match here in Limerick. Limerick defending, and defending strongly, and it comes out to the captain, Donal O'Grady. Given his debut against Cork back in 2004 when Padjo Wheelahan was the manager that time. Right now Donal O'Grady has managed the side, and he's watching Shane Dowling come in, advance with menace and put it over the bar. A second point for Shane Dowling, the wonderful young talented hurler who's come off the bench to put 5 between them with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, Jerry's very strong, and he did the right thing, put them 5 points up, but a goal on there, all he do is flick it inside. But at this stage, Limerick 5 points is a big lead with Cork only with 14 men.
And Kevin Downs is now coming on in place of Shawnee Tobin. And Michael, when you think about all the subs that were at Allen had at his disposal today, it was a very, very talented looking bench. And that one has been left behind inexplicably to Kevin Downs. Oh, a horrible mistake. And that's got over the bar by Downs. He could scarcely believe it. Christmas come in the month of July.
Yeah, and Ger, we talked about this before the game, but likes of Shawnee Tobin, Graham Mackay, very pacey, used their pace early, stretch lads, and then to bring on the likes of of Kevin Downs and Shane Dowling, big strong men, Conor Ellis, to win possession and finish the game. Dangerous ball in here now.
This is the one, inside towards Cusson, couldn't grab it, however, outmanoeuvred, outmuscled, and away in the end, out of danger for Limerick. Cork try to get it back again. 4.5 minutes are left, but they are 6 points behind. That's back in again by Daniel Carney. Nocton trying to regain it for Cork, and this time the referee saw a foul. Limerick player goes down. Free out to Limerick.
A lot of them. See Paul Brown, Donal O'Grady, men that have covered huge ground.
They've played superbly in the second half, Limerick, but they've had the advantage of one extra man for all of the 35 minutes, or as it is, 31-32 so far. This is what was happening behind the referee's back here.
Yeah.
Not very pleasant,
Kevin Downs,
not terribly edifying.
Both of them will get at least yellow cards.
So the referee, who's already dished out yellow cards and 1 red.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big talking point, Jerry. Pat Horgan under that high ball. You asked me before half-time what I thought. I knew the ball had struck. The free's on the way in there now.
And it's taken by Joyce, and Christopher Joyce gets it back out again. Across the field by William Egan. Cork zigzagging it down with Carney now, all the way down towards his clubmate at SARS, Michael Cusson. Couldn't quite reach him, but Michael Cusson comes out, has it under control, pursued by 2 Limerick players, makes an angle and puts the ball wide. Disappointing finish there for Michael Cusson, who's waited patiently to get his big chance to come on in this Munster final. But now we're almost at 68 minutes, 2 to go, and Limerick are almost there, going for their 19th ever Munster title. Another change, and this change here involves the Limerick man, and that's Niall Moran. We'll see him very shortly. It would be fitting if he were to come on and share in a big glory day. He's done so much in the past for Limerick hurling, and so have all the Moran family. This is still in play by Paul Brown. Slips it down along into the corner here. Once again, Kevin Downs. And that is a beautiful shot. He jumps for joy. He punches the air. He's got a second 2 shots on the target, 2 points by a substitute who's only just on the park. Not half bad. Limerick 22, Cork 15.
Yeah, but your Limerick players laying down a marker for the next day. Kevin Downs punching the air there. That's his 2nd point. Shane Dowling with 2 points, since coming on. And that's what Limerick game plan has been, to introduce these key subs late on in the game to finish off, what has been a very brave challenge from Cork, considering they had 14 men and they had loads of chances that they didn't take throughout the game.
The scores from play are interesting. Niall Moran is on. Seamus Hickey has been replaced for the last couple of minutes, having played his heart out. Niall Moran in for the last few minutes then of what is looking like a glorious afternoon for John Allen, the man who came after Donal O'Grady from Cork to take up the manager's reign here in Limerick, and now has guided them virtually to a Munster title in his 2nd year here. And there's another one, and that's Shane Dowling with a 3rd. Superb play, inspiring work there by Dowling. Well, the manager's been able to bring these fellas off the bench, and how they have relished the occasion. 23-15.
Jaron, you mentioned Niall Moore there. Look what service he's given to Limerick over the years, and he's had great days and he's had poor days in the Limerick jersey, you'd have to say. And Ollie, his brother, there for so long, maybe without getting over the line with the Munster Championship. So it's a great day for the Mourns and great day for Limerick now. You have to say they've been taken over completely in the last 15 minutes.
It's 11 minutes since Cork scored, but then I think it was very hard on them. I also think that an 8-point difference right now isn't fair on the effort that they put in overall in what has been a very good Munster final. But the scoreline doesn't lie, 23-15. And we've got Shane Dowling with the game almost into stoppage time. 2 minutes of stoppage time to be played, and he's put that one wide. So it's another wide for Limerick, and that's 10 in all. Something to work on for them, no doubt.
Well, Limerick is a passionate sporting county, as we all know, with the rugby and football and soccer, every other sport. But hurling is a huge game down here. I think we're going to see some pitch invasion after this game. It'll be like a throwback to the old days.
Certainly should be, and that's Niall Moran. Off he goes. Of course, he teaches an Ord Scoil Reach, and he's got a point, and he's put it over the bar. And that creams off a wonderful day for him. Just perfection, really. Everything possible that could go right has gone right for Limerick. Everything that could go wrong for Cork has gone wrong for them. Yeah,
but Jerry, you mentioned, look, those subs have scored 6 points from play between them. Kevin Downs has got 2, Shane Dowling has got 3, and Niall Moore got 1, and that's a massive contribution.
It's now a 9-point advantage for Limerick. Seconds away, 1 minute to go. We now know the quarter-final arrangements on July the 28th. It'll be Cork versus Kilkenny. It'll be Galway versus Clare. That now confirmed. Limerick are in the semi-final of the All-Irelands. They'll go there as Munster champions, and who knows, they may yet be All-Ireland champions. Kevin Downs swinging it in there towards Declan Hannon, and they're playing ducks and drakes now at this stage, with the crowd ready for the biggest invasion of this pitch there has been for decades. They're ready for the invasion. The players better get ready. The Gardaí are down there trying to do their best just to get us as far as the 72nd
they're only keeping them
minute.
off the pitch, Ger. They're not trying to stop them coming on when the final whistle goes.
No, we just want to see the game finish.
Yeah. There's no one is going to stop them.
24-15. Well, it's quite amazing. Limerick on home soil, a 16th Munster title for them. The first since 1996 when Tom Ryan was in charge. But this is John Allen and his team's big day. The Cork native who has guided Limerick. And it'll be Shane Dowling looking for his 4th point of the match. Up into the crowd. Not sure, it went wide, it's all over. Limerick are the Munster champions 2013. And nobody can take it away from them. John Allen has masterminded a wonderful victory on Shannon's side. They've waited some 17 years. It's a proud sporting city, as you've mentioned, Michael. Great for rugby, great for everything. It's so many facilities here. But look at this setting here. It is spectacular. They've waited so long. Cork congratulate John Allen, who as manager, remember, took up the cudgel as manager of Cork in 2005, which I thought was a very brave thing at the time, because Donald O'Grady had won the All-Ireland the previous year, beating Kilkenny by whatever it was in the 2004 final. And then he came along and took up the challenge of winning in 2005. And I'm sure people said to him, "You're mad, you're crazy, can't be done. You can't emulate what he's already done before you." But he's a man who loves a challenge, and he showed us today just what he's able to produce. And here in the Gaelic ground in Limerick, it has been a very, very worthy success for Limerick. The final score here, for the record, it's Limerick 14, it's Limerick 24 points, Cork 15, 9 between them. Michael, the sending off before half-time, is that the big moment?
Well, it was a big moment, but at the end of the day, you can't take away from Limerick's fantastic win. But it was huge at the time. You know, Pat Horgan was in behind. He did slap across the back of the head. The referee was close by. He thought it was a red card. I thought it was very harsh. But a fantastic look at these scenes out on the pitch. You know, hurling is made to go around. The big championships, the big wins, the Munster championships, All Ireland. We see, and this has been the most brilliant hurling championship so far, and this caps it maybe again today. It's brilliant for hurling. It's like the 90s all over again, and well done to Limerick.
Well done to Limerick indeed. Tears in the eyes of some of the fans, leaping for joy. What a setting, what a summer's day in Limerick. Let's go back to Michael.
At the Gaelic grounds in Limerick, on foot of Limerick's first win of the Munster Championship since 1996. And here enjoying it with me in studio, Cyril Farrell, Liam Sheedy and Gerlach Nan. Cyril Farrell, I know the GAA have done a lot of work towards, and particularly in Croke Park, towards keeping the crowd off the field, and there is a big argument to say that as well. But as Ger said in the commentary, this is like the old days. You actually wouldn't really want to stop this.
This is what the GAA is all about. I don't agree with it. I know it's nice for the players and they're held up, but look, you saw the euphoria there, Michael. It's unbelievable. There's nearly 40,000 field Limerick people here. I know there's not as half and half, but like, it's been a great occasion. But the big difference in the second half, 10 points each at half time. Limerick scored 14 points in the second half, Cork scored 5. Limerick brought on 3 subs, and I think between the 3 of them they got 6 points from play, like 6 points out of it. That's a terrible return, and I suppose a big talking point about sending off with Pat Horgan. But like in the second half, what Limerick weren't doing in the first half, they drove on, they played very intelligent ball, and they picked great scores from outside. Now Cork got some great scores too, but like the extra man just told, and you could feel the momentum was with Limerick, and there was no way they were going to be stopped. And if we went on for 10 more minutes, they're going to be more. The whole lot was just opening and opening and opening. And John Allen has a team now in our semi-final. He has fellas, you know, you could see the likes of Dowling coming on there. These guys are mad to get on and mad to play. They want to start the next day, so he's in a lovely position. And like that's what's making this championship so unreal. Dublin and Limerick in the All-Ireland semi-finals. Like no one could have predicted that at the beginning of the year.
Limerick in that second half, Gerlach Nan, were like a juggernaut heading towards victory. You, as a Clare man, have had some great battles with Limerick. They're keenest and sometimes bitterest of rivals of yours, but I've no doubt you would share in this joy with them today.
Well, you see, I had fantastic time for Limerick. I said, as a matter of fact, the last time they won the All-Ireland, I was teaching in Dublin the following day, and I was in Hill 16 with a green cap on me, with a brand new suit. It poured rain, and all the dye of the cap ran down my suit and ruined it for the following day.
I bet you didn't tell the locals that you were wearing the green cap.
But in the meantime, when I got on the Clare team afterwards, things changed a bit. But that's the way rivalry is. Now, you think of Limerick and the Munster Championship. They won 2 in the 70s. They won 2 in the 80s. They won 2 in the 90s. But they haven't won any in the last decade or in this decade so far. So this is a big gap for them. This is a massive breakthrough. Now just think back to the under-21 team they had in the year 2000. They never made the breakthrough. Huge hopes for that they would win a Munster Championship. But here we have the souls of this zone in the last few years with their under-21 and the great mixture, the bringing in of John Allen and the return to the traditional Limerick fire and spirit. That's what did this. There was no fancy stuff there in the second half. They moved the ball really quickly and they brought in those great subs and finished off the job. Brilliant, well done to Limerick, fantastic for the county and fantastic for Hurling.
We'll go over to the presentation in just a moment, but before that, Liam Sheedy, just a quick word from yourself. Maybe the story of this Limerick success is based in the substitutes list here that they have in this match, because a couple of years ago, young players like Shane Dowling, Kevin Downs were being marked out as the future of Limerick hurling. Now, I know they came on as subs today, but this is where it all began.
During a day like today, or Michael, on a day like today, it's a 20-man game. You know what I mean? The heat was was unbelievable out there, and in fairness they have it on the bench, you know. And the important thing is that with top class players is to keep them hungry enough that they don't feel disappointed that they're not starting and they're willing to play their part. And all three guys, you know, Niall Moore and Shane Dowling and Kevin Downs all ran onto the field, mad to do something for Limerick, and it paid off in the day. You know, as the day, subs really do win matches at the end of the day.
They won't want to start the subs the next day, you can be certain of that. Let's go over to the presentation.
Yes, it's Robert Frost, who is the chairman of the Munster Council, with his cúpla focal just before the presentation is going to be made to Donal O'Grady.
Counties. I would also like to thank our sponsors for that generous sponsorship of our championship here today.
Isn't it amazing that when you think about it, the two teams who competed in the Division 1B final back on that night in April, when everybody said they're only 1B, they're now champions. It's Limerick who are Munster champions. Donal O'Grady lifting the Munster Cup, champions for 2013. Just like Dublin are Leinster champions. This is an amazing scene, an amazing setting, a day of joy for everybody in Limerick, a great day for hurling, a great day to be here. What a joy to be part of this sport, and everybody having fun and having the day of their lives. Young and old, they'll always remember this day. And the great thing is there's another 2 months of this championship still to go. Who will be holding the McCarthy Cup? Right now, Limerick don't care. Here's Donal O'Grady.
Chairman of the Munster Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 16 years since the Munster Cup was in Limerick hands, but finally, today is the day it comes back home. Just a few thank yous. I'd like to thank our backroom team, our hurling carriers, Jerry, John, Joe Hannon, all the boys, the selectors, lads, Donnacha O'Donnell, our coach, John Kiley, Eamon Meskel, Mark Lyons. Superb job done with us, lads. We could have lasted another 20 minutes. Well done. There's one man who today, I think, was an awkward enough day for him. He had a Limerick jersey on his back for the last 2 years. And John, you plotted the downfall of the Rebels today, so thank you. To our sponsors, JP and Noreen, it's unbelievable to have you backing us. When JP is involved with us, there's always that sense of belief and hope that we can stand here and lift the Munster Cup. And I think, JP, our gratitude goes out to you. You're an outstanding man, and thank you very much. To the county board, another crowd that have been outstanding and backed us from start to finish. Inter-county hurling, lads, has taken on a new lease of life. The commitment involved now is frightening, and there's a lot of expense involved. So to the county board, there was nothing left spared, lads, and we got a reward today, so thank you very much. To Jimmy Barry Murphy, Patrick Cronin and the Cork boys, today is tough, coming down to Limerick. Lads, you're not out of the competition. You made us earn it even though we're down to 14. You pushed us all the way. There's a kick in you, lads, and you'll never know the way the championship has gone. Limerick and Cork could be in the All-Ireland final, so thank you very much for the sporting game. And finally, to the great bunch of supporters that we have. some tough years, lads. But you have to lose them to win them. The hunger that was there at Limerick today, I knew and we knew we would not be beaten. So thank you to everyone for making it a great occasion. Limerick, kaboom!
Donald O'Grady, the Limerick captain, raising the cup aloft. And I tell you something, if Limerick go on to win this year's All-Ireland title, well, the best of luck to the GA and trying to stop scenes like that at Croke Park. That's all I can say.
That's the thing about Limerick, you know. The one thing, when the Limerick supporters get a sniff of victory, they turn out in massive, massive numbers. They will shake Croke Park in the semi-final when they're there, and they'll give massive help to the team. You know, they are so numerous and so passionate about the game. I know they get a very dispirited time when the team is going well, when they just smell that chance of victory, they come out in huge. Look at that scene out there. Absolutely. What other game would you see that in?
O'Grady there, he's gone through a lot of the bad times with Limerick, and it's great to see him being rewarded. Like he held the cool when other lads around him for years ago things were happening in the camp.
And Cyril, it's great for them to have a really solid guy like that as their main leader.
The professor himself, sure, he's more solid than he won't panic.
He's just a perfect man for them, you know.
And it should also be said, because I can see just down from our studio here going out the gate, those Limerick and Cork supporters who are leaving at this stage, leaving shoulder to shoulder and talking about the match.
That's the thing about the GA. They're talking about health and safety on the pitch. They'll all go together, share the sandwiches and a few drinks together. There's no animosity afterwards. There's no fear of anyone, maybe being pushed around. But like, how can you stop them going out there? And as Ger says, they get to Croke Park, how you stop them either. But like, that's part of the GA. I see nothing wrong with it at all. You'd have to say fair play to Cork. They stood out, they're there, they're a bit down, they'll be very disappointed, but they'll be back again and they'll be still hard to beat the championship.
And as well as that, if you were a player or if you're a manager, the biggest thrill you'll ever get after winning a big game is to meet your neighbours outside in the field. Yeah. It's not the same when you meet them. Meet them on the pitch where you won the game. It's absolutely.
Yes.
And to see all those just walking around, chatting, meeting each other, taking photographs. What the hell is wrong with that? That's part of Munster Championship anyway. Whatever about Croke Park?
I'd say Limerick have about 3 days to meet their neighbours now anyway, because I'd say that they're going around all over Limerick. But it's fabulous. I mean, look, it's a very they say a lot about the city of Limerick. At the end of the day, Limerick is a city of sport. They love their sport, they love their sporting heroes, they come out in their thousands and they'll flock to this team and they will follow this team, and they've been with them through thick days and through thick and thin. They stood by them, and the support that they got today, like, it really felt like they had an extra man in the stand today. And you would be delighted for Limerick. Listen, it's always difficult in teams to lose a final, and but like John Allen brought his team well prepared today. They done their stuff, done their homework, and they didn't panic when they got the extra man. Drove on and completely outplayed the opposition in the second half. Cork will have to regroup if they're to take on the mighty Kilkenny in 2 weeks' time. But I mean, for today is all about Limerick and a fantastic victory for them.
But you know what, Donald Cusick said a great thing during the week. You know, he says when a team plays with passion, everything else falls into place. Tactics, patterns of play, everything. And it's just to see Limerick there in the second half. They would had it in full forward. They went back to the traditional alignment of the team, and they just played with absolute fire and passion and method as well. There was great method in their play as well. They took over completely, and to be at a game where players are playing with that passion, that totally adds to the occasion as well.
Well, there was no doubt about their passion in that second half, and everything did for sure fall into place. All right, then it's time for another break.